I have done the heavy lifting and have learned everything about AI. So in this video, I will tell you all the AI essential skills that you need to know in 2025. We will go from beginner to intermediate to advanced, with crash courses on each topic and links to extra resources if you want to dive deeper. By the end of this video, you will know more about AI than 99% of the people, but only if you actually retain it. Therefore, after every topic, I will ask you some questions to assess if you actually learned or not. If you cannot answer the questions correctly, you have to watch the video again until you can answer the questions. And before I forget, this video is sponsored by Numeric. I'll talk about them later on in the video, but let's get into it. So this is the structure of our video today. I will start by explaining the basic definition of AI. Secondly, I will talk about prompting, which is a skill set that every single AI engineer should know. Next, I will talk about agents, which are the hot topics at the moment. Then I'll be talking about vibe coding, and that's the fun part. At the end, I'll be talking about the emerging technologies that are shaping the second half of 2025. So, what is AI? Artificial intelligence refers to computer programs that can perform cognitive tasks normally associated with human intelligence. AI has been around for a very long time. Things like Google search algorithms or YouTube recommendation systems are all the forms of machine learning. But what people usually mean by AI today is generative AI, system that can create new content like text, image, audio, or video. The most popular example is the large language model, also known as LLM, which processes and outputs text. Examples include OpenAI GPT family, Google's Gemini, and Anthropic's Cloud. Increasingly, these models are multimodal, meaning they can handle text but also audio, image, and video. Models like GPT 4.0 and Gemini 2.5 Pro fall into this category. That's the foundation. Now is the time to ask your question and to assess if you actually listened to what I just said. Now let's go to our second part of the video, our second topic, which is prompting. Prompting means giving specific instructions to an AI system to generate useful outputs. You can prompt with text, images, audio, video, or even code. Prompting is the single highest ROI skill you can learn in AI. Why? Because it's how you communicate with these models. You could have the most powerful tool or system in the world, but if you don't know how to talk to it, it's useless. Literally useless. Here's how to practice. So pick a chatbot first. It could be ChatGPT, it could be Gemini, it could be Cloud. Just whatever you like, pick it first and then start experimenting. There's two frameworks I use when I'm doing prompting. And this framework, I did not come up with them. Google did. And you already know what Google is. And if they are using, that means it's the best. And as always, you don't need to invent the wheel. Just use what already exists and just make better. So the first framework that we will go through consists of 5 different parts. It is task, context, resource, evaluate, and iterate. For the task part, you need to clearly define to the AI what it has to do. So for example, I can go to ChatGPT and write me a post for Instagram about my 0 to 1 AI community. It will give me a very okay response, but that's not really good enough for me. So I need to give it more content, more task definition. So for example, I will say you are Instagram influencer and you will write me a very attention-grabbing Instagram post from my followers. Already, the AI will take the domain knowledge that it has about Instagram influencers and it will give me a post that's already better than before. So now, next, I can give it more details by giving the output that I want. So the AI post or the Instagram post will have the structure that I need. I can say, start with the post by mentioning 3 engaging facts for my followers. So for the task, I need to tell it exactly what it has to do. Then I will give it a role that it will act as, and then I will give the format or the output that I need, the desired output and the structure. That's already better than 100% better than before. So for the first part is task. So you need to define to give the AI a role and then also the output that you want, the desired output. Now that we have defined the task clearly, there's so much more that we have to do yet. It's good, but not yet quite good or where we want it to be. The next part for this framework is the context. And the general rule is the more context that you can provide to the AI, the better the results will be. And one of the most obvious contexts I can provide to the AI chatbot right now is, for example, the kind of courses that we teach in our community. For example, we teach things like AI tools, we teach things like how to build AI solutions. By the way, at the moment, there's a lot of students in our community that are already building crazy AI tools and AI solutions and are already selling to clients. So if you want to be part of it, you can always join us. I will link the course here. So go ahead and join us if you haven't. If you are, then stay, I guess. But yeah, the more context that you can provide to the AI, the better the results will be. And we can also tell the AI chatbot, for example, what kind of audience we have. At the moment, we have about people from different ages, such as 20 years old, 40 years old. Some of them are business owners, some of them are like 9 to 5 people. So like it all depends, like the context that we provide. So the more context that you can provide to the AI, the better your results will be. And it's already going to look better. So the more specific your context is, the more specific result that you will get. They are very much detailed to what you need. So pay attention to that and make sure that your context is really detailed and specific as much as possible. Then this will take us to our third part of the framework, which is the reference. Don't worry, everyone is copying someone else. Nothing is new under the sun. So if you see an Instagram page that really looks good and you want your Instagram page to look similar, you can take one of their posts, one of their pictures, input it to the chatbot and say it, I want my pictures to look similar to this based on my details that I provided to you. Because sometimes when you are writing in the context, you will forget something. We're humans. But just by inputting the image, the AI will take everything into account. And that means better result, a more specific result for you. So make sure that you do this as well. And don't worry about copying someone else because nothing is new. So we have done the task, context, and reference. After the reference, it will take us to the fourth part, which is the evaluate. And this means you're just evaluating the results, that you're actually happy with it or no. If you're not happy, you will start again and then you will do something, you will do some changes. And then the fifth part is the iterate. This literally means you are just tweaking the little changes that you don't like. For example, the Instagram post. Maybe some part of the wording is not as you want it, so you will tell the AI to change that. You say, okay, change this, or you don't like the colors, so you will say, okay, tweak this a little bit, change the colors. It really depends on what your goal is. And one rule, the AI will not get it right in the first try, often. So you need to spend a lot of time until it really knows you, until it becomes your personal assistant and it knows what you like and what you doesn't like. So don't get upset or like don't give up on your first try. You need to keep trying, you need to keep changing the prompts or like the topics or anything that you want to change until you have the perfect result. So with this framework, if you remember it clearly, at least you will be better than 90% of the people who are doing the prompting. Again, it was the task, the context, the resource, evaluate, and iterate until you are happy with the results. So after completing the first framework, we are getting there, but not really yet there where we want to be. So at least now you are better than most of the people, but our goal is to be better than 99% of the people. So that takes us to our second framework. And this second framework consists of 4 different parts. The first part is very simple. You just go back to your first framework and you check all the details. You check if there's any inconsistent details that might confuse the AI. So therefore, it will not give you the best result that you need. you check that all the infos are correct. And if that's the case, then you go ahead to the second part, which is split instructions into shorter sentences. You gotta understand, talking to AI is like talking to a human being. If I give you all the instructions that I have all at once, you will be confused. You might not fully understand everything that I need. But if I give you my instructions into shorter sentences in different times, then you will take all the things I need and then give me the output that I need. It's like saying blah 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 blah, or just saying blah blah blah. You understand? I hope it makes sense. The third part of the second framework is rephrasing your instructions. For example, you gave the AI an instruction to help you write a speech, but for some reason the output is not what you really imagined it would be. Instead of just saying help me write speech, you can say help me write story. That's technically the same thing but different angle. So maybe you can approach that way, and then you will be surprised with the result that you will have. Fourth part, which is also very important, is adding constraints. For example, is let's say you have a friend and you're going out and you ask your friend, where do you want to eat or what do you want to eat? And they say anything. That's not really helpful, is it? I'm that friend, so I know. I never know what to eat or where to eat. So that's not really helpful. So maybe you can add constraints in your AI to get the exact output that you want. For example, let's say you are on a road trip, you're listening to an audio, but you only understand English language, right? So it doesn't make sense that you listen to an audio in Chinese or in Japanese or in Finnish, but you only want the English audio. It's like telling the AI, give me only the audios that are in English or the podcasts that are in English. So adding constraints is also just giving the exact specific details that you want in order to get the exact specific output that you need to have. So with these two frameworks, the first framework and the second framework that we just went through, if you apply them correctly, I promise you, you'll be better than 99% of the people who are doing prompting. So let's continue to our third topic of the video, which is AI agents. And as you know, AI agents are the hottest topic at the moment. Every company wants to have an AI agent. Every person wants to create AI agent. But before we get started, let's define first what is AI agent. So AI agent is systems that use AI to pursue goals and complete tasks on your behalf. Think of them as role-based AIs. For example, a customer service agent that can handle password resets, or a coding agent that can draft an MVP web app. OpenAI listed 6 core components of agents. So any agent must have these 6 core components. The first one is the AI model, which acts as the brain of the agent. Second is the tool. This is what the agent is allowed to use, like the email, browsers, or APIs. Third is the knowledge and memory. So it remembers sessions and uses your data. For example, a therapy agent. It has to remember the past sessions that you had with it in order for it to give you the exact advice that you need. Fourth is the audio and speech, for the AI to have a natural conversation with you. Fifth is the guardrails. This one makes sure that the AI is safe. The sixth is the orchestration. This one enables you to monitor and deploy agents. One thing that I heard recently that really shocked me, but also made me understand the potential of AI agents, is when someone said every SaaS product today could have a vertical AI agent equivalent tomorrow. So think of any big SaaS product that you currently use. If they don't have AI agents that's vertical to it, that's very similar to it, maybe you can build one, like Shopify. Think of it from that perspective, and you can understand the big potential AI agent has. And it's not too late. It's not saturated. No one is doing enough. And every company, every business will need AI agent at some point. So maybe You can look into it and build one for your company or for your networks. You never know. So, quick recap of what we just went through. The model provides the intelligence. The tools enable the action. The knowledge and memory inform the decision. The audio and speech enable the natural conversation. The guardrails ensures the safety. And the orchestration manages all of them. So now that you know something about the AI agents, you might be wondering, okay, how can I build these AI agents that you're talking about? Easy. There's few options. It really depends where you're starting from. If you're not familiar with coding at all and you have zero coding experience, don't worry. You can still make a very good AI agent solutions that you can sell or use yourself. And you can do it via few options. And that number one is n8n. It is something that I personally use and it's very easy for me to use it. Maybe because I've done it a lot. But don't worry, if you're starting right now, then it's also very easy to use and you can have a lot of tutorials. I myself have made video about n8n, so you can watch it or either on YouTube or in our community. Another tool that you can use is make.com, and make.com and n8n are more like for personal clients or like clients that are having their own business. But if you want some enterprise level solutions, then you can use something called Gumloop. But if you're telling me you know how to code and you don't really need this low code or no code tools, you can use OpenAI's SDK. It is paid version, but it has all the core components built in already. But if you don't want to pay for it, there's another option for you. Google has a free version of ADK, and ADK stands for Agent Development Kit. So depending where you're starting from and what is your situation and what is your target, there's a few different options such as n8n, make.com, Gumloop, OpenAI's Agent SDK, or Google's ADK. And if you need more help, you can always reach out to me in our community or just write a comment on YouTube under the video and I will answer to you. And if you are talking about AI agents, we must also mention MCP. So MCP is an open standard way for connecting AI agents to external data sources and tools. Before, it used to be very, very difficult to connect different APIs and tools to agents because all of them used to do it in different ways, different methods. Now, MCP acts as the universal USB plug, and it can give you access to all different tools and data sources very easily, assuming you are following the protocol of MCP. And MCP is developed by Anthropic, so that's a huge game changer. And what used to be such a hard time and difficult way, and used to take a long time, is now seamless and very easy to follow. As long as you are following the protocol of MCP. About that, I'll talk it in another video, but now we're going to focus our topics. And now, let's go into my favorite topic, which is AI-assisted coding, aka vibe coding. And what do you know about vibe coding? Let me tell you, vibe coding has completely changed the game. Like you have no idea. Whatever you can think of, whatever you can imagine, you can build it. Literally. You want a really nice, beautiful website for yourself? Take an example of the competitor. Make the AI build it for you. And voila. Few minutes is already done. Like, it's impossible. People used to spend 9,000 on a very cool website. Nowadays, you spend $25 and you make the exact same one. That's why I'm telling people when they are not really paying attention to these new tools that are available, I'm like, what are you doing? Stop, focus. There's a lot of new tools available at the moment, such as Lovable, Base44. And the good thing about this is like, you don't even have to come up with the idea. You might have the idea simply, but you go to AI and say, okay, I have this idea, help me write it down so I can give to another AI tool to build it. So it's crazy. I heard there was this, when I first heard about AI or like vibe coding, it was in early 2025 and I saw it in a tweet by someone called Andrei Karpathy. And he was describing this new way of like a style of coding he calls vibe coding. And I was very curious, like, what do you mean vibe coding? Because in my opinion, when I code, there's nothing vibey about it. is headache. I have to like go through a lot of trials. I have to fix the code. That was before. Not anymore. Not anymore. And this vibe coding is technically you describe what you want and the AI builds it for you. Simple as that. But of course, nothing that's good comes easy. So even with vibe coding, there has to be certain frameworks and certain principles that you need to ground the AI with. And I will teach you about those principles in order to make your journey with vibe coding easier and more fruitful and better results. Because it's not just the idea. It's not that you just go to Lovable and say whatever you want. You need to have certain frameworks, certain specific instructions, specific tasks in order for you to get the best result that you need. And I will explain to you what the framework is. So the 5 frameworks for vibe coding are the following: thinking, frameworks, checkpoints, debugging, and context. Thinking is really what it is. You gotta really think hard and know exactly what you want to build. Because if you don't know what to build, how do you expect the AI to know that? And what normally helps with this part is actually creating something called product requirement document. In this document, you define the target audience, you define the core features of your project, and you also define the tools that you want to use to build the product with. The second step is framework. Whatever you're building, there's something similar that already exists. So instead of you letting the AI agent to figure everything itself or reinventing the wheel, you can direct the AI agent to the specific tool that you want it to use. Let's say you want to build a web app with 3D interactive experience. You probably want to use a tool called 3.js. But you might be asking, how the heck would I know what tool to use or to tell the AI agent what tools to use if I don't know myself? Don't worry, the AI can also help you with it. When you are making your product requirement document, you can also ask the AI at that time to give you the specific tools that would allow you to build the specific product that you want to build. This way, the AI agent already knows what is expected of it to do. So therefore, you don't really have to create the framework itself. It's already been created for you through AI. But once the AI creates the framework for you, one essential thing that you need to understand is you need to understand and fully understand the different parts of the framework. So when you are doing the vibe coding, it becomes a smooth process instead of you just blindly following the instructions of ChatGPT. This way, your journey with vibe coding actually becomes smooth and it doesn't become headache. And this way, you can also learn a lot by actually learning the framework itself. So you don't need to create the framework itself, but you need to learn how to use it and how the different parts of the framework works in order for your vibe coding journey to be very smooth and less headache. That's what I would recommend. So this takes us to our third step, which is the checkpoints. Always use version control. Whatever you're building, whenever you're creating something new, or whenever you're changing specific part of your code, always save it to either in Git or GitHub. Otherwise, you will lose everything. And trust me, that's not a nice feeling. Raise your hand if that happened to you. Yes, it happened to me, and I learned it the hard way. Therefore, I'm already warning you and giving you the advice. Whenever you're creating something new, or whenever you're changing part of your code, please remember to save it in your GitHub. The version control is really essential. Otherwise, the work that you did for the last 2 weeks are lost. Kaput. You want that? No. It's not a nice feeling. I know about it. I know how it feels. And I'm telling you, don't repeat my mistake. Whatever you're creating, whenever you're making something new or changing a code, you need to save it somewhere. Okay? Version control is essential. Essential. And this takes us to step 4, which is called debugging. Yeah, the sad truth is when you start your journey with vibe coding, you will soon realize that this journey should not be called vibe coding, but more like vibe debugging. Because you will spend a lot of time, insane amount of time, actually debugging the code itself instead of creating something new. That's a sad reality, and that's something that you need to accept. But remember, don't give up easily, be patient, and direct your AI agent to this right way, to the right tool, to the right road, and that's by debugging the code itself. You will go through a lot of trials, and the easiest way to fix this problem is whenever you come across an error, you take it and ask the AI agent to fix the problem itself. So you tell it, okay, I'm facing this problem, so can you fix it for me? If the problem or if the error is a visual one, then the best way to do is just take a screenshot of the problem, put it in the AI agent, and it will actually fix it for you. That's the easy way. And now we are going to our last step, which is context. General rule: whenever you're in doubt, add more context. I always say, the more context and more details you can give to your AI agent, the better results you will have. The context can be screenshots, it can be mockups, it can be examples, anything really. The more details the AI agent has, the more examples it has, the more visual images it has about your project and what you're trying to achieve, the better results you will have. And you will thank me later. So focus on the context. And the general rule is, whenever in doubt, add more context. But make sure whatever context you had, they are not confusing and they are not like conflicting. So like you cannot say in one part of your context, make it white, and the other part you say, make it black. It doesn't make sense. It has to be detailed, specific, and not conflicting with one another. So when in doubt, add more context. And those are the 5-step framework for vibe coding. If you can master them all and you use them in the right way, the right proper way, then I think vibe coding is going to become really smooth process for you, and you don't have to have a lot of headache. I had it, so I'm now teaching you how to not have it. And yeah, vibe coding is a smooth process. It's really very like nice way to build something that you always imagine. Imagine like the websites that you can think of. You see a website and you want that for yourself. Go to Lovable, build it. How much it will cost you? $9,000? No, $25. So it's only you and your imagination, and the AI agent is your best friend. And along the time, the more context that you can give your agent, it actually becomes your own personal assistant. It knows you really well, and it knows what you want, what kind of images you like, what kind of context you always provide, what kind of tools you use. So for the next project is much smoother. Maybe the first project that you do with vibe coding will not be really easy, it will not be nice, and you'll find it very difficult. But trust me, by the third or fourth project, you'll be master. Don't worry, I believe in you. And yeah. Now that we have talked about vibe coding, let me tell you something about tools that will help you with vibe coding. If you're a beginner, I would advise you to try Lovable or Page 44 or V0 or Bolt. I know there are a lot of options, but if I would advise you one out of them all, I would say Lovable, because you don't need any coding experience. It will understand you just the way I'm speaking right now. So just natural language, and then with examples, you can get a really good designs, especially for websites. But if you're telling me I'm intermediate, I know a bit about coding, and those tools are a bit too easy for me, and I need a bit more advanced, then I would advise you to try something called Replit. It's also a good option, but not for beginners. If you are telling me you are advanced coder and you have a lot of experience, then go ahead and try Firebase Studio, try Cursor. Those are really good options. But if you're a power user and you know a lot about coding and you are an AI engineer, stuff like that, then I would advise you to try Cloud Code. That's really essential and it's really good, and it helps me a lot. That's what I use, but I can debug the code myself. I can do everything by myself without the help of the AI. So having Cloud Code is really nice. So we have talked about AI, agents, prompting, and vibe coding. So what's next? As you know, AI is moving very fast, faster than expected actually, and every single day there's new trends that are coming up. Instead of focusing on these new trends that are coming up all the time, they come and go, but focus on the bigger trends, the trends that are always staying. For example, how AI is being integrated into workflows. For example, Google now is embedding AI into everywhere. That's something that you need to pay attention to, something that you need to remember. And another thing that I want you to remember is how AI agents are becoming equivalent to startups and products. So someone said it like this: for every SaaS unicorn product, for every SaaS unicorn company, there will be AI agent equivalent to it. If you think it like that, you actually can understand the big potential AI agents can have. So think of companies or products that you use currently every single day. If they don't have an AI agent that's equivalent to it, trust me, soon there will be one. So maybe you can build one like that. So this is the end of our video. Thank you for sticking with me through this crash course. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful. And I'm really excited to see what you're building with AI. If you built something cool, write it below the comments under the YouTube video or in our community. And I'm really excited to see what you're building. Hopefully I can help you with something, or you can help us with something. But hey, see you in the next video or in the live stream. Bye.